We've got our first little man finished for our little scene. Now, I know a lot of you probably feel, well, he's doing a lot of repetitious type carvings, but if you're going to do scenes, I know I've carved a lot of these little guys and shown you how to do it, but if you're going to do scenes, then you're going to have to carve a lot of these different type of little figures, in other words, for these scenes. And I'm going to have a Christmas scene that I'm going to be doing, and with a little Christmas tree, and I'm going to have a woman standing right next to it. And these are miniature scenes, so when you carve these things for these scenes, you get a little bit something different as you go along. But this is it's a beautiful day here, by the way, in Texas. But here's our first little man, and here's the blank for our second little man. A lot of people, you know, as we look at it, it's just a very unique little blank that we have here that I'm using for this. And of course, if you stand them side by side, it looks like it's taller, but we do cut quite a bit off the head, in other words, and everything like that as we go. So we're going to go ahead and work on our next little guy for the motorcycle scene. And then when it's all over, you'll see how I put it all together and to make these little scenes. And these little scenes are very, very popular. People have wanted them, a lot of them. So I always start back here to kind of get my feet lined out just about right. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. It has been rather dreary and rainy and cold, and this is a good day that to get out and carve and to do something like that, in other words. And I know we're not experiencing nothing like compared to most people do during the winter time or as we get close. I mean, it's hard to believe we're almost on Christmas. Just unbelievable. And I'm going to do some Christmas scenes. A Christmas scene. A lot of people have asked me, you don't do a lot of Santa Clauses. Well, no, I don't, because everyone else is doing Santa Clauses. And so I like to do these little small Christmas scenes with the little tree that I find and stuff like that. And just like with this one, with the little motorcycle, you know, I can carve the little tree and stuff, but I find some of these little trees at Hobby Lobby, and I use them in the scene, in other words. It's quite a joy to use particular things in the scene as we go along. Here I am working on the feet here, basically. And to use little things in your scenes to make them look right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you consider it cheating, well then I guess you just consider it cheating, but I think it's a lot of fun to mix the combination of like little things together to create a scene. And I think all of you know I'm just a different person, and I'm not going to go with the flow of what everybody does. I'm going to do some different things. My carvings are different. My little people are different. So things are just a little bit different when it comes down to it. As you know, as you see, I'm a whittler. I do not consider myself a carver as much as I am a whittler, because I use a knife for 95% of my pieces. But I do not say that because you're a whittler that you're you know, you're not really a carver or anything like that. Carving and whittling is very similar to one another. It's just that in whittling, most of the time, the person uses basically a knife, where in a lot of the carving and stuff, people use V-tools. I mean, not V-tools, a lot of chisels to do their stuff, and that's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. You know how much I love carving. You know how much I support the carving community with my Facebook thing, Let's Talk Carving, as we discuss things and try to help people answer questions concerning learning how to carve and doing things like that. So I don't need to go into that kind of stuff at all. But when it comes to carving, you know, what most people do, no, I don't do a lot of that. I kind of go my own way, and if I want to use a toy or something to enhance a scene, then I do it. You know, it's just, that's the fun. I want to add the fun back in the carving. I'm not really interested in winning awards or doing anything like that. I just want people to have fun. I have gone to a lot of shows. I don't go most of the time and participate in shows. I once did participate in some shows when we had a lot of them down here with the Southeast Texas Wood Carvers, and to be honest with you, they were a lot of fun in a lot of ways, but they were a lot of headaches too. And I just preferred not to do that. I enjoy going to the shows, talking to the people, sharing with the people. I just got through going to the Houston Wood Carving Show. Had a lot of fun up there, talking to the people and having a great time and stuff like that. But that's just a part of it. And I enjoy, like I say, going to the carving show rather than sitting in a booth and not being able to move and not being able to go really talk to the other people as much. And I just, that's the way I am. I'm just that kind of a person. I like to go and look at other people's work and comment and talk to them and do things like that. So that is just a part of doing it. Anyway, okay, we're working on him right here as we go, and we're going to kind of come on both sides. And let's go ahead and draw across here where the head is, where the head meets, and we'll cut into there. But that's what I like to do. I like to go and see the people and talk to them and share with them, and if I want to sit down with a carver for 30 minutes and talk to them and they don't mind doing that, then I can do that. In the Houston show, I got to sit down for about 20 minutes with a carver and talk, and we just had a great time talking and sharing and ideas and doing things like that. And I'm a people person when it comes to carving. I really am. I enjoy complimenting people on other people on their carvings rather than necessarily people coming and complimenting me on mine. I'm not, don't get me wrong, I don't mind compliments on the work that I do or the particular videos I do. But what I enjoy complimenting others on their work and encouraging others and stuff like that. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Jerry McNutty, and when I was at the Houston show, and Jerry and I spoke a while and had a real good talk, and it was a pleasure. It was such a joy speaking to him. He's a very, very talented carver. I hope one day he will be in the CCA, because he is very, very talented, and very nice guy. Very, very fine work, I'll tell you what. And it is a pleasure for me to be able to meet these people, and an honor to meet these people and enjoy talking to them and being with them. So to me, I get more enjoyment out of going to a carving show than I do being in a carving show. And I guess that's just come a long way of what I enjoy doing. And you say, well, you feel that maybe your carvings aren't good enough to be in a show? I don't really care. Don't get me wrong, but I don't, folks, I've discussed this about blue ribbons and being the best and everything like that. I've worked 40 years in a plant. I have a decent retirement. I don't care if people buy my carvings. In fact, I don't hardly even sell them. I give most of them away. So I'm not really interested in that. You know, if getting an award means that somebody is going to buy your carving, then it means absolutely nothing to me. You know, and I think it's good for competition to have those things, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't really need ribbons. I just love to carve, and I've loved making the videos over the years and trying to help people and stuff like that. That's my joy more than anything in the world. So whenever I go to a carving show, most of the time, if I drove to one in Arkansas. I didn't even bring my carving stuff with me, so I couldn't even sit down and carve with people, because I was able to go, and I went to one in Tulsa, able to go and talk to the people and just have a good time. So anyway, it's a joy. All right, I just rounded off the head a little bit. We're going to put a hat on him, so we don't want to bring the head down too much, in other words, so that we can go ahead and put a hat on him, so I have room for the hat. Let's go ahead and go to the... All right, this side we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put the hands in the pocket as far as that's concerned. But awards never have meant much to me. Awards are just kind of, well, it's nice to win awards. It's nice to be well known as a carver. But what's even nicer is to teach people to have fun doing it, and teach people to enjoy this wonderful hobby. That's the joy that brings me to carving, is the joy of helping someone learn, and then one day, you know, meeting them and saying, hey, you helped me learn, and I just absolutely love this. That is the joy. That's more joy than all the ribbons and all the stuff in the world. And you heard me say that. I don't mean to keep repeating something, but it is true. It's very, very important to understand that helping people brings great joy. And many of you know I do plays. I work with a play group, Act 1, Scene 1, our little play group down here. And I've been asked many times to do parts and be on stage, but my real love is building the sets. I work with a guy who builds the sets, and that's where I get more joy, is building the sets, because I'm working and creating a place where these people can play. They're, it's like inside of a house or do something like that. And it's really something I like to do. So it isn't the applause of the audience or anything like that. It's just being satisfied and satisfactory that you did something that has helped others and stuff. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, folks. It's just the way, that I feel about things. Okay, now on this side, we're going to put the hand out here like this, as we have done before. And then now, let me show you. Those of you that don't know or have not done this, I come to the front. That's why I made him much fatter, so that the hand could be out here. And I just draw a little half square right here. And then I run the arm like this, and then I come up like this. And then I run this part like this and come up here like that. Okay? And I'll show you how that turns out, in other words. And we come here and we start making our little hand here. And then we come up here and we take some off right in here. See? Very simple, very easy. But and there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do so good that you can win awards and stuff like that. But it's not what a lot of people want. And that's one of the things I just don't really care for. I'm not really all that, and that's not what's really important to me. It is not. And these videos have brought me great joy over the years to be able to sit and share with you. And like I said, what's more important to me, to share with you by sitting here like you're sitting here talking and carving with me. And if I talk too much, then I apologize for that. But some people don't like that. Some people do. Doug Linker said that. Doug said, I don't really care for videos where people talk a lot, when they're carving. Yet, with the carving and carving and coffee show, they do talk a lot and stuff, but it's not necessarily during that period. So, everybody is different the way they look at things, and some people do like that. Some people like to. So, if that's not your thing, then there's plenty of carving. Right now, there is plenty of carving things to be done. And I saw a friend of mine the other day. We talked a little bit. He's a duck hunter. He does a lot of duck hunting. I used to duck hunt when I was young. I love duck hunting. I used to duck hunt a whole lot. I made some. I made some ducks with human clothes on and stuff like that. I enjoy doing little things like that. And so I was a duck hunter at one time. And you ask, well, why are you not still duck hunting? Because it just got so expensive. It really did. And the area that we had used to be the duck hunting capital of the United States. This down here in southeast Texas, and I mean, we used to have ducks and geese by the hundreds of thousands down here. But for some reason, the migration period changed, or they changed it. I don't know what happened, but the ducks just don't come down here anymore, and they're not growing rice like they used to. One of the reasons is we used to be a rice capital. People grew rice down here. It was unbelievable. So, of course, there was plenty of food down here, and the ducks and the geese and all these people would come down here. The ducks would come down here to feed, but we don't grow very much rice anymore, so that's all kind of stopped. So, and I used to pay like $600 a year for a lease, duck hunting lease, and then they just kept going up and kept going up and kept going up, and then they just got ridiculous. Well, you know, they were wanting $1,000 or more for just a duck lease, and I just thought that was getting a little bit, you know. Of course, you know, I know people pay a lot for deer hunting. I'm not a deer hunter. I'm sure there's a lot of deer hunters out there, and I've just never tried it. I was a bird man. I was a duck hunter, geese, ducks. I never hunted pheasant. I always wanted to hunt pheasant, but we don't have pheasant down here, as they say. But we do have deer, but not really down here. You have to go a ways to get to it. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of, let me see how much I need to come in. Let me see how wide he is and how wide he is. That's about right. We're getting pretty close. And I loved it. I loved duck hunting. I did a lot of it when I was young. Unfortunately, that was a time when you could just kind of go out into the marshes and duck hunt and with your decoys and stuff like that. And they've just made too many rules. It's just such a pain now with all the rules. You know, you can only shoot so many ducks, and you can't have this and that. And the ducks are just not down here. It's not worth the money. Those people that I know